started, man. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the marvelous one back at it with Dell. It is Super Bowl week, man. Are you ready?
Man, season is in the books already. This is the last and final game here already. That season went by so fast. So fast.
Yep.
But yep, now it's here. It's time to get it on. See if there's gonna be greatness. Something nobody ever seen before. I think so. But we gonna see. Rematch. Hey, I called it rematch of two years ago. Philly and Kansas City. Uh, you know, yeah, we gonna see if this new improved Philly team can finally get them over the hump.
Right. And you got to ask yourself, man, did you ever see this in the future of Jalen Hurts coming into the league? You know, to be in the Super Bowl two times, man, to
Oh,
take over for Carson Wentz, to take this Philadelphia team to the next level, to go to the NFC Championship game. Well, how many times has it been? I was going to say three, but maybe it's just two.
twice. He's been twice, but two Super Bowls.
Right,
Those
two
two,
Super Bowls. Yep,
but he's been in the playoffs every year.
that's true. That's true.
You know?
Yo, well, you can't count that first year.
Well, yeah, you don't count. Okay, don't count the first year.
You can't count the first year because they benched him. They had a chance to go to the playoffs. And remember, that was why Peterson got fired. He benched uh,
Hmm.
Hurts. He
Yeah, I
benched
know.
him because he was playing so well. And I guess they wanted to get a high draft pick. They had pretty much thrown out the season, but they were still winning with Hurts, and they weren't expecting that. And he
Right.
benched him and got fired.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
it'll be a great 30 for 30 when it ever comes out on the Philadelphia Eagles that Jalen Hurts rise to the top. But
Yeah, man. I mean, I always felt he was a good quarterback because, yeah, he got benched and put to the bench by Tua at Alabama. But I mean, he resurrected his career in Oklahoma. He went there, he ran a passing offense. You know what I'm saying? If you can show me you can run one of them Kingsbury offenses that officially put up those kind of numbers that he was putting up at Oklahoma, I think you can make it in the NFL.
yeah, I think that was Lincoln Riley's offense, right?
Lincoln
Wasn't it
Riley.
Lincoln? Yeah, it was
Lincoln,
Lincoln Riley. Yeah,
Lincoln
because I
Riley.
think I
It was
think
Lincoln.
Stoops had already left, and yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
but yeah, he ran it perfectly. Nearly won the Heisman again,
Yep.
and yeah, got drafted in the NFL, and yeah, I think he was like a third round pick or something like that. He wasn't a
Second
first
round.
round pick. Second
Second
round,
round.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
he
Yeah.
wasn't
I think
expected to
I
do
would
much.
and I want to say they moved up to get him in the second
Mm,
round.
smart.
Because it was kind of like a surprise because they already had a quarterback there. You know what I'm saying? And you like, okay, why'd you go pick another quarterback so early? That's what people was kind of saying. And then they were saying, of course, there was kind of some people was kind of uh talking down about it being Jalen Hurts on top of that. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't believe him because he got benched for Tua and you know, even though I don't believe that Alabama really has a pro style offense. I don't think they run a pro style offense. Um, when he went to Oklahoma and he ran that offense, he showed that he could run a pro style offense for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, he had a great college career, and he's showing to be a great quarterback in the pros, and you know, really excited for him. I am rooting for the Eagles because I want Hurts to win a Super Bowl. I think that would just cap off, well, I mean, will continue his growth as a player and the legacy that he's leaving, right? A college champion, a Heisman Trophy winner, NFL champion. I mean, that's just amazing for a kid nobody really thought much of. So I love to see it.
hey, I mean Philly thought something of him, you know what I'm saying? That's why they went up to pick him, you know what I'm saying? Pick him in the second round. He's not a fourth round pick, he's second round pick. So Philly did think pretty big of him, you know.
That's true.
Um, but of course, ain't nobody think he's gonna be in two Super Bowls in the first four
No,
years of the league. I mean,
no. They didn't even think he
nobody.
was a quarterback. I mean, it's crazy. I remember his first game in the NFL. It was against the Saints. It was against us. We were on like some 9-game winning streak. And,
Hmm.
we're going into Philly, and I'm like, it was like a Monday night game or a Sunday night game. And I'm like, oh, this is easy money. They starting a rookie. We should be good.
Right.
And dude killed us. I think he ran for like 90 yards on us. And he ran that offense so much more efficiently than Wentz did that it was obvious that he was a better fit for this team and a better fit for their offense. And
Right. And he's
we
not,
ended up losing.
this prototypical 6'4", I'm
Nope.
saying, quarterback. I mean, he's like 6'1", you know.
Yep. But
Just being efficient. I mean, he not really. If you look at his numbers lately, he's really not putting up any kind of numbers. You
well,
know,
I mean, your job
anytime
gets a lot easier when you got Saquon Barkley behind you.
that is very true. Very very true. When you got five
you,
yards behind you, that's you don't
yeah,
need to.
you don't need to work that hard. You don't need to throw that many passes. I mean, I don't think he threw for 300 yards this season,
Yeah, you
right?
might be right.
I don't
You're
think
right.
there was a game he threw for 300 or maybe it was 350 or something like that. But yeah, he doesn't have to work that hard. He got Saquon behind him,
Yeah.
which is good because I think there was a lot of pressure that was being put on him. And you could start to see that last season. And I mean, kudos to the Eagles, man. Their front office has been doing an amazing job over the years
Have
getting
they
new players. Yeah,
have they
it's amazing. Even some of the trades that they've made to get draft picks and to get great free agents in there. You get Jonah Johnson in there. You get Saquon. I mean, obviously Saquon, but you also get I'm thinking of the Saints linebacker, and now he's a first teamer. This dude was a special teamer for us. He couldn't get on the field for us. He wasn't good enough. He goes to
mm,
Philly. Now he's a Pro Bowler. He's on All Pro. Like, are you kidding me? What are we missing? Why is Philly making all the right moves? So it's amazing.
mhm.
Got to give him credit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, that's what Philly. I mean, look, Philly don't won a damn Super Bowl with Mick Foles. You know what I'm saying? Lost the quarterback, still go to Super Bowl, win the Super. That's just good organization. That's just
Yep.
good organization. And now you
Yep.
talk about in the last like what 8 years, they're going to be in the Super Bowl 3 times. That's
That's
good,
amazing.
great organization, man. It's a great
Yeah.
organization. And
Not
no
only
matter
that,
what, they never stop trying. They never stop. They never be content. If there's somebody out there that's worth trying to add to the team, they find a way to make it happen.
right. And one other thing that we're missing, they had two different coaches.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Right. Sirianni, this is be his second time going to the Super Bowl with him.
yeah.
And Peterson went
Doug
once with
Peterson.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl against New England.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's truly amazing. A lot of credit to them, a lot of respect. But we gotta talk about the historic nature of this, right? If the Chiefs win this, that'll be the first 3-time winning Super Bowl champion in NFL history.
Ever. Well,
That
they've already started a first ever. See, there's never been a team
the
that
go
won 2 Super Bowls and then went to a third.
right,
All the other
right,
teams that won two, they didn't even go to a third Super Bowl. They never even been there. So
right,
they've already beat that one record. They now you talk about a whole nother one on top of it.
right,
Actually winning the three-peat, completing the three-peat. Uh that is huge. That is huge. And it goes right up there with the undefeated season.
right.
It goes right up there with that undefeated season that Miami still trying to hold on to. Uh that I guess the closest team was the Patriots, like the 2012 Patriots. They were like the closest team to get there since then. But
Yeah.
this would be right there up there with that.
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think they will have the right to start popping bottles like the Dolphins used to do, right? With the last
Right.
undefeated team would lose, they'll pop a bottle. So,
Yeah.
when the team that's close to getting 3 Super Bowls to getting their third straight Super Bowl, the Chiefs should be popping bottles in the future. So,
Right.
man, this is
Right.
this is truly historic. So, I don't know, man. I'm rooting for both of them, man. I think either one of these teams win. It's like that. It's not one team that I hate. You know what I mean? I
Right.
can root for both of them. I want to see a three-peat, but I also want to see Hurts with a Super Bowl, with a ring and a Lombardi Trophy. I want to see that for Hurts.
Well, me being a fellow NFC East fan, Cowboy fan, I cannot see this. I'm not rooting for them. I just can't. But I mean, I do like Jalen Hurts. You know, I like him ever since he's been in the league. I always thought he's going to do well. But I mean, this is Patty Mahomes. This destiny for Patty Mahomes, man. I mean, eh, this is the best team he had the whole time he's been in the league. He's
That
never
is
had
true.
this complete of a team with Kareem Hunter, Pacheco in the backfield, DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver, Hollywood Brown at wide receiver, your young speedster Xavier Worthy at wide receiver number 3, and then tight end or Hall of Famer Kelsey at tight end. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Dog, he just has a wealth of
Whoa, whoa! Don't forget about the defense now, right? Where he got a
oh,
wealth of talent on
oh,
offense, and he
that's
got
just
a
offense
defense that can protect the lead.
and the defense, who's playing top notch. This is the best team he's had around him since he's been in the league. And the funny thing is that he doesn't look as flashy with this
Right.
best team around him. You
No
know,
look.
because he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to
Right.
be the one. He can play and go to win, to score 24, 27 points, and they still win. They're gonna win. You know, when it's time to
What?
make that last second, that last drive, he's always on the right side of it.
See, and you bring up that point. A lot of people miss that. They'll look at the stats, they look at his performance, and say, "Well, he's not playing well. He's not putting up the big gaudy numbers that he put up in the past." Was because he doesn't have to. His defense is actually holding up. His defense wasn't holding up in the past, so he had to throw for 3, 4 touchdowns a game and 400 yards. Don't need
Yeah.
to anymore. He can win games now 24-20, or maybe even less, 20-17, right? They were winning games by field goals in the final seconds.
Oh yeah.
So you don't
Yeah.
have to work that hard. You want your quarterback like that. You want your quarterback to be like Jalen Hurts or Patty Mahomes this year, where they didn't have to work that hard.
Absolutely. I mean, and then wasn't that the blueprint for the Patriots all them years? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They never really blew nobody out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, those
You know?
first couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, they were winning by field goals. You
Mm-hmm.
know, even in the last few Super Bowls, they didn't really they won those. That was an overtime joint. They came back with with uh with
Oh,
Atlanta.
against Atlanta. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
talking about hating your division rival in a big game. Like I was definitely rooting for the Patriots when they played against the Falcons. So I know how you feel. You're rooting against the Eagles because they're in
yeah.
your division and a hated rival.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be talking big mess. I mean, they're already
Yeah.
talking enough big mess as it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They get
See,
another Super Bowl. Oh my God.
I swear to you, I was in New Orleans when that game was played, and people in New Orleans was cheering for the Patriots as if the Saints had won the Super Bowl. That's how excited we were because the fact that we only have one Super Bowl and the Falcons had the opportunity to tie us. Oh no, no, hell no. We're just not gonna let that happen, dude. I mean, hell, when they went to the Super Bowl before us back in the Dirty Bird days, it was scary for Saints fans. Like, hell, they're gonna get a Super Bowl before us? Hell no.
Right, right.
So yeah, so
Yep,
glad that they, we still talk trash about that.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that used to be my thing to always calm the Philly fans down. You know, get a Super Bowl first. You know, now they've been in there in three in like the last 5, 6 years.
You're right.
It's
Well, you still got your. We have five and you got one, so
I
you still
still got
got
that
that.
one. I'm holding on to that one barely. You know what I'm saying? But those Super Bowls are getting old. They're 30 years old now. You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying?
are.
And it's hard to grasp onto them when they're 30 years old. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
people
true. That's true.
remember. You know, people they don't forgot how dominant that Cowboys team was in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody really remember, you know. It's
Well, I
like, yeah,
mean, a 25-year-old would know.
nah, they will have no concept of that.
Yeah, they have
No
no
concept.
concept of how dominant Aikman and Smith and Irvin were, and people
Yeah,
forget
man.
about Harper.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
just on offense. They had a crazy defense. You talk
Oh,
about Deion Sanders. You talk about there Charles Haley. I mean, it was just nuts what we
it
had going
was
on defense, like on both sides of the ball, man.
crushing teams. I mean, destroying teams back then. That was
Yeah,
crazy. That was crazy. And then in the Super Bowl destroyed the Buffalo Bills. It was just
yeah,
that was one of the worst Super Bowls to watch.
yeah. I think we had like 50 something points, like 52 to something. I
Yeah.
forgot what.
It would have been more. It would have been 60 if Don Beebe didn't strip the ball from
Oh
Leon Lett.
yeah, yep. Leon Lett running in trying to showboat.
Yeah. And Don Beebe ran behind him and knocked the ball out of his hand. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a horrible Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could be a Bills fan. Because, I mean, they build you up to tear you down. You know, it's one thing to just stay down. You already know. Like, I wasn't too high on this season because I knew the Saints were going to be bad, right? Buffalo Bills had Super Bowl aspirations, and they get to the AFC Championship game and roll out a dud. So, you know, it's just,
and like you said, it was the defense that held up. Because didn't they end up having the ball to drive? Like they was trying to drive to tie the
mm,
game up. Or something like that at
yep,
the end, it stopped them.
yep,
The defense stopped them. So I mean, yeah, like I said, the defense actually holds up now. You know,
right, right. Yeah, the
and I think
defense,
a lot of that is because the way the okay, so the way that the Patriot, I mean the Chiefs, I almost slipped up there. The way that the Chiefs run their offense now, it's like more of a dink or dunk. It's a real
mm-hmm,
dink and type of offense. They're going like, 4 to 8 yards in a cloud of smoke. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Like that. They don't really throw down the field no more like that.
They're not as explosive as they were with
Mm.
Tyreek Hill.
No, not at all. But they're so much more efficient. So now you
Mm-hmm,
got these longer drives. You know what I'm saying? These longer drives that give the 8 minute drives, the 8 minute 50-second drives. Uh, you know what I'm saying? The 6 minute drives, the 10 minute drives, like they did against Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? They had
right,
like they have these drives that keeps their defense fresh and off the
right.
field. You know what I'm saying? So when they come out there, they ready. They're already coached up good, but now they're fresh and coached up. You
Well,
know?
let me ask you this. Let me ask you, you know, with all the conspiracy theories going around and the stories of the NFL is scripted and rigged, what's your thoughts on the whole, you know, conspiracy that the league is rigged for the Chiefs? The officials out there are doing everything in the favor of the Chiefs. How do you feel about that? I know you big on this stuff. You pointed out some stuff to me in the Super Bowl last year with the Chiefs.
Yeah, when he
What
got
do
a
you
free
think
extra
about?
for he
Yeah,
definitely.
yes. Is it happening this year? Is there some truth to these stories? What's your thoughts?
Well, look, man, I wish that I could really say that that was the case. I mean, because look, man, I'm all into some good conspiracy theory. I'm all in for. They had the thing with the logos. You know what I'm saying? The color of the logo.
Right. We'll
You know
tell
what I'm
you the
saying?
winner, right?
Yeah, we'll tell you who went and which by the way,
It was pretty accurate.
Chiefs red is in the logo this year. Chiefs red is in the logo. They said whichever color is the most in the logo wins the Super Bowl. Guess what most color this year? Red.
So so that's the telltale sign. Well, I mean, I guess the officials that's their cue. They look at the sign and okay, all right, I know what we got to do. We got to make sure
Well, they
Patty
kind of
get
thought
his Super Bowl.
what well would it but see that's the thing. Okay. So would it surprise you if you knew that the Chiefs actually ranked fifth in the most penalty yards given up this year?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're fifth in the most uh penalty yards for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say that, I'll be like, okay, the numbers don't really kind of show that. You know what I'm saying? They kind of uh oh, wait a minute. I said that backwards. I said that backwards. Hold on.
You're saying in the
Was
most penalized team, right?
Yeah, the most. See, I don't know if this is right. I'm looking it up now. And see, I don't know if it's okay, penalty. Okay, my bad. So no, they're the fifth least amount of
Oh,
penalty yards
well,
for
see,
this
there
year.
you go. There you go. The officials help. I mean, I've seen all the memes where the official is giving a jersey to Patrick Mahomes. They're doing a jersey swap with the officials.
Oh man, it's so funny. Those memes are crazy. The little memes and the AI videos are crazy. The ones to be like, okay, penalty on the team trying to tackle the almighty Mahomes. He will be executed at halftime. Live at halftime will be executed. Like what?
but but to
Um,
me, to me, it's like going back to the NBA, right? You remember in the 90s, that was the superstar treatment, right? You remember they'll play real physical one side of the ball. Every you get fouled, they let things go, and then the other side, you couldn't touch Michael Jordan. I mean, it just seems to me he's getting the superstar treatment.
right, right.
It is
I
what it
agree.
is.
Look, so and the thing is though, every time it's a team winning, right? It's always some uh controversy on what they're doing and how they doing it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It was Deflate Gate, Brady and them was on their roll,
Well, not
you
only
know.
that, remember they was spying on the other team. The thing that came from their first Super Bowl,
Yeah,
they apparently spied on the
Deflate
spy.
Gate.
Yep.
Yep. There was Spygate and there was Deflate Gate, and they made a real big deal about Deflate Gate.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that's so funny is that when they did the investigation, the coach had three deflated balls too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what's crazy is right after Deflate Gate. No, was it Deflate Gate? It was no, right after Spygate
Hmm.
was uh Bounty Gate
Yeah, yeah,
for the
right.
Saints.
Yeah, for the
Bounty
same.
Gate. Yeah, and everybody was showing all like 20 years later, they show pictures of the Saints players hitting Brett Favre. And I'm like, well, if you look at that 15 years ago, when that game was played, that was all legal. You can
Right.
hit like that. You can hit the quarterback just for the hell of it to make sure he felt that you were there. There was no roughing the passer if you touched his face mask. That wasn't a thing. Or if you crawled to his knees,
Not like
that
that.
wasn't roughing the passer. Yeah, you could do that back then. So
Yeah.
people, you're freaking out, hey, look at those illegal hits. Well, yeah, after that, they decided to make all that stuff illegal. But back then, those were legal hits on Brett Favre. So I didn't feel that it was anything wrong. Now, whether the Saints, the thing that the Saints were, punished for was the fact that they claimed that the Saints, this hadn't made any proof. The Saints are alleged to be putting money into like a pot, and apparently they went with the goal of knocking out the quarterback. And whenever they knocked the quarterback out, they got the pot of money. Now, my question to you is the Saints were one of the worst defenses in the league that year, and they knocked out not one quarterback. My thing is that money is still there.
What you mean they knock out one quarterback? Yeah, they did knock out some
Who?
quarterbacks. What are
Who
you
did they
talking
knock
about?
out?
Did they knock out Brett Favre or not Brett Favre? It
Kurt
was either
Warner?
Brett Favre, it was either Brett Favre that came out the game, or it was Kurt Warner. One of them. One of them played. One of them
They may
quarterbacks
have
got.
missed a play, but they played the entire game.
Yeah, but they were banged up because those hits was crazy,
Well,
and
that was what.
they were
Come,
overzealous. They were some overzealous hits, Tom. They were
come
some
on,
very
Dale.
overzealous.
Dale, that was the game played back then. You
Nah, it
you
wasn't.
you
Nah,
went
it
to
wasn't.
to
Not like that. No, it was not.
Dale.
It
That
was
was
not.
what you did. You try to hit when you got a shot on the quarterback, you took it.
Nah, but y'all were taking like two or three extra steps. It was like it
No.
was some, you could see the extra hits. There were more hits in that joint on the quarterback than usual in regular games. In regular games. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm
And
saying
then,
is,
but that's not what y'all really got. What y'all really got hurt on is when your boy leaked the footage of the locker room.
yeah, when he said cut off the head of the snake, test that knee. I
No, test the head.
yeah, test that.
He been having some concussions lately. Test the
Hey,
head. He's off that pile.
Dale, Dale, look. I get it. You've gotten noble in your years. I know you played football in the '90s.
That's right.
You know what it was like. You know what the coaches used to tell you back then.
Oh yeah. Oh
They would
yeah.
cuss you out and they would tell you not so and so off his feet or whatever. And not as cleanly as I said it. It was harsh. Language was harsh back then. And I get it now. It's all cleaned up and we all nicey nice. And everybody's saying the right thing and politically correct. But football back in the 90s and early 2000s, come on, man, cut it out. It wasn't nice like that. If somebody had a concussion, knock him out again. That's what they would tell you. You played football,
I
right?
mean, yeah, they would say it, but they were still roughing the passer back then. There was still such thing called roughing the passer.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If the
Right.
Saints were doing all of that and the officials weren't throwing the flag, whose fault is that?
I mean, I would say it was officials. I mean, I would say,
Okay. So
but
so so
but
if this stuff was happening, they weren't throwing the
no,
flag.
but that's not the point though. The point is that they got this footage of being extra zealous, and they got the footage in the thing, and there was the rumor going around, so it all kind of added up. So that's why
I
all the
I
suspensions happened and the penalties happened.
no. Here's what I
That's
think.
why
Here's what I think happened. All right, and we've gotten off topic here, but we're gonna
a
have this
little
discussion.
bit.
This is what I think happened. This is around the time when the whole concussion issue was coming up, and that was becoming a thing, and the NFL was getting ready to be sued. They were going to be sued by the players that have been suffering from years from concussions and other injuries. And this was their way of saving face, of saying that we're doing something about this. We don't want our players to have these long-term injuries, these long-term issues. So hey, we're going to make an example out of somebody, and that example is going to be made of the Saints. The Saints won the Super Bowl the year before that. So they got to be doing something wrong. Saints, you're punished for being too mean out on the football field. It's like, oh man, that's how football was played. They talk about that now. They talk about the game too soft. Well, yeah, it's soft now, but back then in the 80s and 90s, you saw the Chicago Bears in 85? You saw
I mean,
how
it
many
wasn't, but it
quarterbacks
wasn't,
they knocked out?
yeah, but it wasn't an '80s game, and it wasn't a '90s game. It's a 2000s game. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but
This is late
still,
2000s, late
it
2010.
it was mid 2000s, and it was mid
Yeah,
2000s. That's when they decided to change the game.
yeah, but
That's when the concussion thing became an issue.
it was already becoming an issue at that point. It was
It
already becoming.
was. It was. And that's when all the things started to change. They started having people on the sideline to see if somebody had a concussion. You had to start going to concussion protocol. That wasn't the thing back in the early 2000s, 90s, and 80s. They got some smelling sauce. You know about the smelling sauce. When you had a concussion, they put that around your nose, it woke you up, and you went back out there. You got CTE. No, they didn't care. Get him some smelling sauce. Walk it off. You know that. That's saying that was classic. You broke your ankle. Walk it off. Concussion. Walk it off.
Yeah,
He
pretty
knocked out
much.
his two fronts.
Pretty
Walk it
much.
off.
But more of the '80s and '90s and not the 2000s stuff. The '80s and '90s, yeah, I'm all with you on that. But 2000s, they started getting a little. That's when the softness started. That's when the Brady
Yes.
root started. Early
Yes.
2000, right? So
No.
mid
Mid
2000,
2000. It wasn't
yeah,
until
mid
after the
2000.
Saints.
That was before the Saints. The Brady rule,
No. No.
the
The
Brady rule,
rough.
yeah, because they went to the Super Bowl. Yes, it was. That was the last time they went
What
to the Super Bowl.
you talking about when Brady got knocked out for the season when he blew out his knee. I don't
No,
remember
that
when
was
that
like
was.
2010 or something like that, right?
Yes,
2000.
that mid 2000. That's when they changed the rule where you couldn't hit a quarterback too low. And then it started protecting their heads. You couldn't hit them in the head. And then
Right.
you couldn't hit them and put your weight all over.
I was
All
thinking
that happened around
I was thinking the
2010.
clutch rule. I was thinking the clutch rule. The
Oh,
tuck.
I'm thinking of his injury because that's when because when he blew
Yeah,
out his knee. Remember, Matt Castle came in.
right. Came and tackled him low, so they made a rule you can't
They
tackle the
can't tackle
quarterback
him low, and they
while he was in
build
the
on that.
pocket anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
they started building on that. You couldn't hit him low, couldn't hit him in the head, can't put your weight on him. The game started to get. I don't want to say soft. To me, it got better. It got better because it made defense harder, but hey, you need to protect these guys. They're playing a gladiator sport. And, players back then didn't play 20 years like Drew Brees and Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't run like Lamar Jackson is doing today. You remember when Michael Vick was running like that? I remember he broke his ankle one time. He had all kind of injuries. You could barely see Michael Vick play sometimes because he was taking on a lot of injuries because it was a rough game back then.
Yeah, I
So
mean, even I mean, Dak two times he been out significantly was one of the times when he ran with the ball.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
both times he was running with the ball. So I
right,
mean, those injuries happen now anyway, and I get that they don't want to keep having all these injuries on their quarterback
right.
when
Star
they
players,
when they're the highest paid players, and that kind of wrecks the whole franchise when they out for the season. But
right.
they just go too crazy. The one like, you can't lay on the guy, when you're tackling him. You can't land on top of him. But that's how Tony Romo broke his collarbone, okay?
Right.
Because that one Philly just laid right on top of him and came down on him and broke his collarbone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But he ain't get no penalty. you
Right.
know?
Or,
So
or when LeVar Arrington hit Troy Aikman as he was running out of bounds and laid him out.
you
That
see that
changed the rule.
I hate people saying that. That's not what happened.
What
Troy
happened?
Aikman, Troy Aikman, he did tackle him on his way out of bounds.
Right.
They were both running towards out of bounds, and what you call
Right.
it, came up to him and tackled him. It wasn't like a smash and just knocked him silly. He hit the ground pretty regularly, but the
Yeah.
problem was that Troy Aikman was already experiencing the concussion. He was already that's probably like his fifth concussion.
Right. Right. Right.
But he
But
didn't
but
like it. Everybody keeps saying that. It really wasn't what happened.
but you can't hit a quarterback as they're running out of bounds. You
Of
can't do
course you
that
can. Of
anymore. No,
course you can.
but that wasn't a thing back then. You could do
Yeah, you
that back
can.
then. You could lay somebody out as they're running out of bounds. They were treated like any other player running towards the sideline. And then they changed the rule. You can't hit a quarterback like that. That started
Yeah.
with
I mean,
Troy Aikman.
I just saw a penalty. They just had a penalty not too long ago. Somebody got a penalty. I mean, didn't get a
Yeah,
penalty.
that's my point. I'm just saying that's just an example of how the game has changed over the years. I remember the 85 Bears had knocked out, I want to say just about every quarterback they played, knocked them out, other than Dan Marino, because that was the only loss that they had against the Dolphins. And I remember they hit the Lions quarterback, and dude was laid out on the field, passed out. And people cheering on, damn, that's what you
Mhm.
did back then. But anyway, we've gotten
Yeah,
off topic. It's Super Bowl weekend.
it's
You
Super
know,
Bowl for sure.
that's Super Bowl week. We're ready for it. It's in my hometown. They putting on the show. I hear that the city is as clean as it's ever been.
Yeah.
They put on the show for the Super Bowl, man. I think
Oh
this
yeah,
is
for sure.
the ninth, maybe 10th time it's been in New Orleans.
Oh
You know,
wow.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's been there a lot, man. So they put on a good show. Wish I was there. But with that said, I guess we should make our picks.
Yeah. Let's go down with it.
Let's
Let's
do
get.
it. I'll let you make yours first because I think yours you've said it a number of times.
Kind of already I said it. Yeah, I already kind of put it out there. It's going to be the Chiefs, y'all. It's going. I told y'all they were already on the mission. I told you when the season started that the Chiefs is on the mission. I told you they will be here, and they're going to complete the whole thing. I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate quarterback right now. They're already
Yep.
trying to compare him to Brady, who done been in the league 20 years, been in like how many Super Bowls was Brady in? 12, 13
Well,
Super Bowls.
how many? He won seven, right?
He won seven. He was in
He
like what?
lost two,
He lost three.
three.
He
He
lost three
lost
Super
three.
Bowls.
So he
Yeah.
was in 10.
He was in 10 Super Bowls. You
Yes.
know.
In
They
20,
already
22 years.
yeah, 22 years, man. And his last one was less than 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So he won one on his way out. Um, they're already comparing Patrick Mahomes to this guy. He could do everything. He could run, he could throw the ball, he can throw the ball 50 times, and you're not even worried about it. Uh, and then you pair that up with that defense that they playing right now, how they playing right now, and then on top of that, the coaching, the Andy Reid coaching, man. Um, I just think they're going to complete it. They're going to just do what they've been doing. Just like last year when they had to go on the road, they did it every kind of way possible. They went on the road, had to play Buffalo in Buffalo, had to play the Ravens at Ravens. Uh, then you go winning the Super Bowl against the team you played 2 years before that, again, or 3 years before that. You replay them again, different quarterback, but hey, same team, same organization. Um, But hey, they're used to this. This is not a there's no pressure on them. You know, they want to do this three-peat thing. I know they do. They're not saying nothing about it, but I know they do. You want to make that history.
Right, right,
That's why they
right.
started off 15-1 this year because they was focused. Uh, they're going to try to compete this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them by 10 points. I really
Mm.
would not be surprised if they beat them by 10 points
So
because it's time for it. You know, they've been able to kind of take the reins out of Hurts' hands. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Saquon just having a monster season. Shout out to him for the 2002 Gs. They should have let him beat the record. But anyway, um,
he didn't want it.
yeah, he don't have to. He hasn't had to win the game for them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he could throw for 100. What is it, 125 yards?
Yeah.
You know, he could do that now, and they still win the game handily. I
Right.
don't think he's gonna be able to do that against the Chiefs. I don't
Mm.
think he's gonna because the thing is, Spagnolia knows that Saquon is gonna get the ball. It's not like, you know, they can surprise him. You
Right.
know, they're gonna take away what you do best, and they're gonna try to make Hurts beat him with his arm, which that's where the mistakes are gonna come. That's where those extra
Mm.
fumbles are gonna come. That's where the one or two interceptions are gonna come. I think it's not as high scoring as people think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a mid scoring game, you know. Chiefs win it 24-20, somewhere
Okay.
around it, 4-20. Patrick Holmes is solidified as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. The first team to do three in a row, three-peat as an NFL team, which is insanely hard to do, which is why it's never been done. Even with like eight other teams having a chance before them to do it, not even being able to make it back the third time to the game,
Right.
you know, it's an accomplishment in itself. They already beat that one. Now it's time to finish it all off and go ahead and win this damn thing. And then talk about 4P.
Well, two things I want to address before I make my pick.
Mhm.
One, I don't think they will be the first to win three in a row, be the first to win three Super Bowls in a row. But I think the Packers in the 60s, before it became a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
run
I
three
mean, we talk
titles,
about we talk about Super Bowl
Super
era.
Bowls. Right,
Yeah, they didn't
right. We're
call it
talking about
Super Bowl back then. They called
right.
it a national championship or something like
National, yeah, something whack. I like
that.
Super Bowl better. But
Right.
yeah, but yeah, that and then the other thing I want to address, I don't know if he's going to be as great as Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady had one thing that Patrick Mahomes does not have. He had he had Bill Belichick throughout the majority of his career. I don't
For
think
his
Andy
whole career.
Reid, huh?
I mean, his whole career, except for when he was with Tampa. Yeah,
Yeah, except when we went to Tampa. Right. I don't think Andy Reid's going to coach that long
that is
with
true.
Patrick Mahomes. So
That is,
that may be the downfall of what could be a career that should surpass Tom Brady. I think this is going to be really hard for any quarterback to accomplish to get to 10 Super Bowls and to win seven of them in 20 years. That's going to be tough.
hey man, look, when he's been in the league what 6 years?
Yeah.
He's about to be the. Is this his fifth Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Would
I
this
think
be his
so.
fifth Super Bowl?
If
Yeah, he's
Oh, he
he's
only
already
lost one, right? He
he
only
only
lost
lost
one.
one. Only
And
lost one.
he's already
And
won three.
and the other time he didn't make it
Yeah.
was when Brady beat him. Well, Brady beat him in that Super Bowl, and the last time he didn't make it to the Super Bowl, Brady beat
Right.
him. That's the Patriots. So
Right.
yeah,
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 Brady beat him twice, right? Beat him
twice.
twice in the AFC Championship game when he was with New England. I believe it was twice in the
No,
AFC Championship.
I don't think he beat him twice. I think he beat him once in the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, and then beat him once in the AFC champ going to the AFC Championship
Right.
with the Patriots.
I thought he beat him twice. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
And-
might have looked that up. I don't think he beat him twice because I think that they were. I think he's been in the AFC Championship game every year.
yeah.
And remember,
Yes, that is true.
he's going for his fourth Super Bowl. He only been in the league what 6 years?
6, 7 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it's amazing. I just don't know if if Andy Reid is going to coach that long to help him
That is
get to
true.
that point.
That is
So
that. True.
that's the hard part about it. Spagnuolo is probably going to take over as the head coach. When Andy Reid, because I even read something where he's considering retiring after this, but we'll see. We'll see. But as far as my pick, so I like both teams. I like both teams. I already said that I am rooting for the Eagles. And keep in mind, the first time these two teams played in the Super Bowl, the Eagles were pretty much handling the Chiefs, and they had some big time mistakes. Hurts had the fumble that was returned for a touchdown. I think the Chiefs also had a great punt return that it wasn't returned for a touchdown, but it was returned to like close to the goal line. They had a couple of big game changing plays in that Super Bowl. So I don't think that the Eagles will be a pushover in this game. Um, so, just to jinx the Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs since I picked against them all throughout this season and it would win. I'm picking them now just to jinx them. So I'm going with the Chiefs because it would be nice to see a team win 3 straight Super Bowls. It would be nice to see Patrick Mahomes to get his fourth Super Bowl and to be 3 away from Tom Brady. I can get behind that. But I'm picking the Chiefs mostly because I want to jinx them. And
The anti-jinx.
the anti jinx, exactly. I'm picking them because every time I pick against them, they won. And I figured if I pick for them, they should lose. So there you have it. I'm going with the Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
Yeah, man. I like seeing greatness, and this is like the most
Yeah.
greatness you're gonna see since Brady, but also
Yeah.
Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Since Jordan just dominated that, you know,
That era.
the two three peats back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's very very impressive, and this is right there up there with that.
Yep.
You know, um, just you know, and just to see how it unfolds because all his games be exciting. They always be
Yep.
exciting. You know what I'm saying? They always down in the second half somehow, some way. They down in the second half somehow, some way. And they come back and just win it. Like like San Francisco goes to overtime. You know what I'm saying? What they
Mm-hmm.
do, calls go right down the field and who was that? Hartman. Miko Hartman ended up catching the game winning touchdown. Which, by the way, I don't know if you to go along with the conspiracy, he was in that that Hard Knocks in the preseason where
Uh-huh.
that mentologist came. You know the mentalist when they come
Yeah, yeah,
through
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was predicting games and stuff like
and he was
that.
predicting games. Well, he pulled up Miko Hardman when he was with the Jets, right? And
Okay.
predicted that he would win the Super Bowl, right? But then during the season, Miko Hardman gets traded to the Chiefs, and they actually win the Super Bowl.
I don't remember
So
seeing that. I remember seeing
yeah, well,
the guy there
I'll
making a
see.
prediction.
I will send you the clip. He made it. He picked Miko Hardman out of the Jets, locker room to do this trick on, right? And he was
Yeah.
basically Super Bowl. And so I think he said 31-21 was the Super Bowl, right? And he said, and you're gonna win. He was like, you're gonna win the Super Bowl, right? He's like that's right. So he pulled the joint out, pulled it out of the thing, and I want to say Miko Hardman stated what he thought the Super Bowl score was going to be, and
Maybe
that's
that's what
what
it
he
was.
wrote on the paper. That's what was on the paper, the same thing. But the score was not that. Okay, I will say that the score was not that. Did not end
Oh,
that way.
oh,
But
you talking about last year's
Miko,
Super Bowl?
I'm talking about last year's Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I was
Miko
getting ready
gets
to see.
traded to the Chiefs. Look, Miko gets traded to the Chiefs, and he's the one that catches the game winner for the Super Bowl.
Oh man, the script writers are amazing. Who would have thought of that? That's dope.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Hollywood couldn't come up with a better story.
You couldn't. You just couldn't. You just couldn't. But that's the way the Chiefs games are. I mean, think about it. I keep bringing this up, but when they were playing the Texans against Deshaun Watson last one, he was still good. Last time he was still good. They were
Mm-hmm.
down 24-0
I
in the
remember.
AFC Championship game. Come back and score. I think this score ended up being like 42-38.
Yeah.
something like that, right? Then you got when they played San Francisco, you were down 10 points in the fourth quarter against Jimmy Garoppolo,
Mm.
and the third and was it third and 21 or third and 18,
It's something
and threw that
ridiculous.
bomb up to Tariq Hill, you know what I'm saying, to keep the drive alive. That's just the exciting brand of football this guy plays, man. He does it every time. Every time.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
last year, the last time they played Hurts in Philly, they were down at halftime.
Right.
You know? And then that
Yeah.
fumble happened, changed everything, and next thing you know, they right back in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it's a very exciting brand of football to watch. I think they're going to come victorious again on this one and go ahead and secure the three-peat and make history.
All right. Well, we will see. Um, Before we go on, we got to discuss a few things here.
Yeah.
Who's your MVP?
Well, for me, I already told you it was Saquon when it was
Saquon.
even when it was going back and forth. When it was going back and forth with is it Josh Allen or I'm saying it's Saquon because he's about to break a record that never been broken before, and he damn sure could have broken. I'm so mad Philadelphia did not do that, man. So mad at that because especially the game before that, you kept him out there. You kept him out there running against the Cowboys in a meaningless game.
Right.
You kept him out there for what?
Was
I
that
don't
the
know.
game where he got the 2000?
That's the game where he got the 2000 the year before, the week before that. Yeah. So you keep him in there to get the 2000, but you don't keep him in there to make history, to be the only
What?
player to ever do it. I still kind of bad at
My,
Philadelphia.
well, I don't think Philadelphia. You got to get mad with him. They offered it to him. He said no. He didn't care about it. So that's on him.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought they were saying that the coach did that. I thought the coach did that.
No.
I know he did
My,
that about the game that one he had that one game over, but I thought the coaches sat him down.
no, my understanding is they offered it to him to go get the record, and he said no.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the kind of dude he is. So look, let's be real. All right. I would like for Saquon to win the MVP. They're not giving it to him. He's a running back. Let's stop it.
What are
It's
you
a
talking
quarterback.
about? You saying it like a running back's never won it before, though,
I ain't
dog.
saying it like a running, but they got
Yeah,
to
you
do
are. You
some
say he's a running back. That's what
they
happened
got
with
they got
Adrian
to do
Peterson.
something extraordinary. I mean, beyond this, he got to come back from a knee injury and rush for 2,000 yards. It's got to be a story behind it. It's got to be turned into an after school special for a running back to get anybody. If that ain't happening, he ain't winning. It's going to a quarterback, right? And it's going to Lamar Jackson. That's it. He's going to be back to back MVP. Lamar Jackson's going to win it.
Mm.
Josh Allen's going to be second,
If I'll say this, if they count playoffs, he's not gonna get it. But if he,
but they ain't counting playoffs.
I know if they count, but they say that, but it's getting later and later before they
Yeah,
start determining that. So
I
I
think the
think
vote is.
that is getting it.
I think the vote is already in. The vote has already been in. It was a regular season award, and so it's
Yeah, but
going to Lamar.
they stopped the voting at the regular season.
Yeah.
If that's the case, they could have been named it.
Well, but that's the whole point of the whole NFL honor show. Like that vote has already been done. Like you remember back in the day before NFL honors, they announced the MVP during like the playoffs. They didn't wait to the
Right,
end of the
right.
season.
It used to be early, right?
It used to be really early. So yeah, I think that pick has already been made, and so it's Lamar. They're not giving it a Saquon. They just don't. I mean, when Adrian Peterson won, was he the last running back to win MVP? I
I
think so.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he was. And hell, there's been other 2,000 yard rushes since him, right?
Since Adrian Peterson,
Yeah. What's the kid from
I think Henry. That's it.
Henry and the other kid from Tennessee?
I,
Um,
I thought he did that before Adrian Peterson, didn't
no, I would have thought that came after Adrian Peterson.
he? Hmm.
Yeah, because it was when did Adrian Peterson rush for 2,000?
Uh,
Was that before Brett Favre got there?
hold on. I'll tell you right now.
I think it was before Brett Favre got there.
Okay. So it's been the last few have been, yep, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Adrian Peterson, 2012. Yep. So he was the
2000.
last.
He was the last one, last
Yep.
running back. And
Yep.
he had look at the amazing story he had to have. He came back off of a knee injury, right? Or was it Achilles? I think it was a knee injury. His
This
career
knee,
was supposed
yeah,
his
bad
career
knee.
was supposed to be over, a bad one. And he rushed for
Right.
2,000 yards, right? So you had a great story behind it. So yeah, love Saquon. I think he deserves it, but he's not winning. So my pick for the MVP.
Hey, they gave it to LT in 2002, 2006, and before that, Sean Alexander. So that's
Yeah,
back to back running backs
yeah.
winning.
Well, that's when they respect the running back. It was 2000s, right?
2005, 2006.
Yeah, Jesus
Back to back
Christ.
run't backs.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And
but it's time for running back. They didn't just had a run of fucking 15 quarterbacks.
yeah, well,
They had a run, and only one of them was in the Super Bowl.
only
Patrick Mahomes.
one. I think
Oh,
Matt Ryan went.
my
I
bad,
think
my
Matt
bad, my bad.
Ryan. Yeah,
Tom Brady and Matt Ryan. Yes,
and
it's
Matt Ryan.
17. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, they just don't give it to it. And what they do is they'll give the
Oh,
running
they
back the
can't lose.
Offensive Player of the Year award. I I,
Right.
I don't get that. But anyway, yeah, he's gonna get Offensive Player of the Year. Lamar will be the MVP. Period.
Mm.
But one other thing I wanted to cover. Uh, looks like Kellen Moore will be the Saints head coach after this game. They'll probably sign him Monday. So
Mm, mm,
yes,
mm.
yes, it
Wow.
will be Kellen Moore. I, I
Un-
I'm not a fan of the pick, but
gonna be
I'm okay
James
with it
Kirk.
because if we hit with him, if he's actually a good head coach, he's young. I think he's 36, 37. So he's a young head coach. If he's good, that means we'll have him for many years, like we had with Sean Payton. Sean Payton was the same thing, right? It was like, oh, who is this guy? What has he done? I remember he got his play calling duties taken away from him when he was with New York, with the Giants, and then Bill Parcells didn't like him, or kind of gave him a lot of crap as offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, and then we pick him up, young guy, and
Mhm.
it worked out well for us. So I'm willing to take a shot with this guy. I would have preferred McCarthy because that would have been the safe pick, but more, let's see.
Yeah, yeah. I think y'all gonna be in the right well on that one, man. I don't know why this dude's been since he been out there. They've been trying to pump this dude up so hard. I mean, when Cowboys brought him on, they was talking about him back then. Oh, this guy's a smart mind. He went to Boise and ran this prolific offense. You know, like he was just his ranks. He just going up the ranks too that quick for me. Just
Yeah,
way 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 too quick for me. Uh, and your boy what's the dude from Chiefs old offensive coordinator? Eric Bieniemy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He can't get an interview.
He can't get an interview. He getting
You know what I'm
fired
saying?
in college as a
Right.
running backs coach. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like what?
Yeah, and the Vikings defensive coordinator can't even get an interview. I mean, what he did in Minnesota was, I mean, outstanding. So yeah, Brian Flores, like,
Right.
how does he not get a head coaching job?
Right. Right.
I mean, he was wrongfully fired in Miami.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Very true. I mean,
they
he
want
wasn't he putting out rumors that they were wanting him to lose or something like that.
they did,
They were mad at
and
him because he wasn't trying to lose.
you're right, right. They wanted him to tank, and he
Right.
basically said no. Yeah, and he got fired for that. It's like the Raiders head coach. He got fired because they wanted him to tank, and he said no. So for what? I don't need
Right.
the number one overall pick. If I keep losing, I might get fired anyway.
Right.
So, but yeah, that looks like that's what's going to happen. Um, you know, I'm okay with the pick. I mean, it's better than some of the other people that they interviewed, like the Giants offensive coordinator. Like, why? Why we even consider him? Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach that filled in for Dennis Allen with the Saints. and like I didn't see anything remarkable about him coaching the team. So yeah, I'm willing to give Kellen Moore a shot considering the choices we had. I thought the best choice was Mike McCarthy, coach with the Saints. He knows the organization, has a winning record. Um, I thought that was a safe pick. May not win a Super Bowl, but you knew you were going to be competitive and make the playoffs. Now we just got a complete unknown. So hopefully it turns out to be great.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to they're gonna have to update their criteria on what they call an MVP. Because the last time that Lamar won the MVP, I'm just comparing because they got the votes up here. They even show you the
Mm-hmm.
voting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the year that Dak came in second place. So Dak Dak threw for almost 1,000 more yards than he did, had 12 more touchdown passing touchdowns, two more interceptions, and three less rushing touchdowns to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the MVP over 200 votes.
Yeah.
Crazy. He threw 24-7. That's not MVP numbers. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't think the touchdown to interception ratio wasn't great.
24. That's
Mm-hmm.
got to be the lowest touchdown total of any MVP ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that has to be. I
I
can't
think I
remember.
think I think the reason he won it was mostly because of his rushing. Because he threw for 3,000 and he rushed for like 900 and something, right? Like
Yeah,
955.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why he got it because he was like the first quarterback that
822. Yeah, 821 yards that year and five
yeah.
touchdowns.
Thanks for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.